The border czar 终于来了。Tom Homan, the most dedicated BAMP civil service you have ever seen. Within 2 days of Trump taking office, him and ICE arrested over 700 criminal illegal immigrants. Homan, just like ICE, is straight cold with it, executing ruthless arrests of every criminal illegal immigrant that has crossed the border during the entire Biden administration. But as things heat up during the cold winter, it may be more than illegal immigrants who get got. It might even be some politicians, because ICE and Trump are slowly uncovering the infuriating truth about what is really going on deep beneath the surface.
Complete and total disaster.
Now, I'm out of town for 过年, so you have to imagine my big black head shouting it loud and proud in your face.
台积大条。
美国最近有太多事情发生了耶 It's like watching a 精彩 as fuck 每日影集 where every episode is more crazier than the last. And 今天 on the 美国台积大条真人秀 Wrath of the Border Czar.
When asked if there's a way to carry out mass deportations without separating families, Homan said this.
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
Now, this cold-ass statement uttered just a few months ago is now being implemented in real time, at record speeds. But where before, he only had Republicans behind him, now he has Democrats as well. A lot of them, as Trump made history again by passing the first bill to receive bipartisan support in over 20 years, known as the Laken Riley Act, which basically gives Tom Homan carte blanche to kick illegal ass back across the border.
Because in 2 days, the last 24 hours, total apprehensions on the southwest border, 766. Compare that to the 10 to 12,000 Biden had at one time. CBP1 releases, 0. CHNV, Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, Venezuela releases, 0. Total of 766 across the entire southwest border.
Oh, by the way, while I was editing this video, the number of illegal immigrant arrests jumped from 700 to 1,400, 2 倍. My man won't rest at all, literally.
Back at the Holiday Inn, one of the many Holiday Inns that's been taken over by illegals, thanks to Joe Biden, down here on South Cicero, 7353 South Cicero in Chicago. By the way, Tom Homan, when you're coming to arrest illegals, don't just arrest illegals, arrest everyone that's been harboring them, from the people that are running the hotels to all of the criminals in this city. We're heading down to the ICE office now, then down to the jail. We're going to be bringing it to you as mass deportations begin across America. By the way, breaking news, I just got word from my ICE contacts that they are given a mandatory 7-day-a-week schedule until further notice. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take 8 days a week to do what has to happen to save our country.
8 days a week. 他没有说夸张 Homan and ICE working overtime to kick all of the illegal immigrants out of America.
First of all, your comments are disgusting. I've served my country. I've served my country for 34 years.
I find your comments disgusting as well.
I've served my country for 34 years. And yes, I held a 5-year-old boy in my arms in back of that tractor trailer. I knelt down beside him and said a prayer for him because I knew what his last 30 minutes of his life was like. And I had a 5-year-old son at the time. What I've been trying to do my 34 years serving my nation is to save lives. So for you to sit there and insult my integrity and my love for my country and for children, that's why this whole thing needs to be fixed. And you're the member of Congress.
We agree on that.
Fix it.
If a 5-year-old boy dies in your hands while you have a 5-year-old son at home, that is something that will scar your mind forever. And I bet you too would spend 8 days a week arresting criminals and kicking them out of your country.
You're goddamn right.
I want to save lives. Secure border saves lives. And when President Trump locks this border down, less women and children be trafficked in this country. Less aliens will die making that journey. Under President Biden, we've had a record number of people die crossing that border. 600% increase in sex trafficking. And look at the 250,000 young Americans dead from fentanyl. We secured the border, the fentanyl deaths decreased. Sex trafficking has decreased. Deaths on the border decreased. So it's just about saving lives. Secure borders save lives. And plus, look, you can't have strong national security if you don't have border security.
That's right.
We need to know who's coming in, what's coming in, where's coming in, why it's coming in. So, again, President Trump, game changer. already made a significant difference on that border. This country is already safer because of President Trump.
That's right. These fools are destroying their passports and all their ID before crossing the border. So you have no idea who they are or what they've done. And if they happen to be your neighbor or your nanny in your house with your kids, you wouldn't even have a clue.
That's crazy, man.
Criticize it all you want, but this is truly about saving American lives.
Consequences are being delivered. The crackdown has begun. President Trump could deploy actually as many as 10,000 active duty troops to the southern border. And while they may not engage in law enforcement, they will be engaging in protecting our border, including the use of military transport planes for deportation flights. Now, a Marine official telling Fox News this, quote, "Our response will be immediate. We are going in ready to respond. If the cartels shoot at us, we will not stand by. We will be taking whatever equipment we would send if a Marine Expeditionary Unit or MEU were deploying overseas."
So let me get this straight. While the military are at the border, if they encounter any cartel who dares to open fire on them, these dudes will be locked and loaded with everything in their arsenal. Translation, this is war.
This is Sparta!
Now, looking back in history on some of the biggest attacks on American soil, in the 20th century, you had the kamikazes who attacked Hawaii, and in this century, you had the jihadis who attacked New York City. And we all know what happened after that.
These students in universities in our country, whether they're here as Americans or if they're here on student visas, and they're out there saying, "I support Hamas," you and I have seen that on all of these television shows. Frankly, they need to be taken out of our country, or the FBI needs to be interviewing them right away when they're saying, "I support Hamas, I am Hamas." That's not saying I support all these poor Palestinians who are trapped in Gaza. That's not what they're saying. So I think their student visas need to be revoked. I think we need to reinstate President Trump's travel ban immediately. There's a lot of things that can be done to stop this. But yeah, the anti-Semitism is rampant throughout this country now. And it's truly, truly heartbreaking to see what's happening to all of our Jewish friends in this country by really just, I think, a lot of ignorant kids and students and people who don't understand that Hamas equals terrorism, even worse, at its worst.
And they're even going to target foreign students who support terrorist organizations. I'm wondering, 如果台湾有这种法律，你们会支持吗?
Well, I can tell you right now, Chris, if we arrested 1,300 people, over 1,000 of them were criminals. Who are the other ones? They're either fugitives who've been through immigration court in order to remove but didn't leave and became a fugitive, or collaterals. Where did the collateral arrests happen? In sanctuary cities, because they forced us into the community. Like I said from day one, no one's off the table. If the United States are illegally, you got a problem. But we are concentrating on public safety threats first. And it just makes sense. I don't care if a Republican, a Democrat, Independent. Why not let law enforcement go into a county jail, a taxpayer county jail, to arrest a guy that you locked in a jail cell? So obviously it's a public safety threat. That would solve a lot of this problem. I hope the sanctuary cities come around. I really hope once they see what we're doing, and we'll invite you out, we'll be very transparent. Once they see that we really are concentrated on the criminals, that they'll come to us and sit at the table and work with us.
But in spite of all this seemingly good news, there is one big issue that is very quickly arising between the state and the Fed, as there are quite a few blue states who have what is known as sanctuary cities. And they have made it very clear that they will do everything they can to stand in the way of ICE and Trump enforcing the law. Now, although the original intent of sanctuary cities might have been to provide sanctuary for immigrants seeking refuge from war-torn countries, they are now harboring criminals. And we ain't talking about low-level dudes pulling the you and go at the 7-Eleven, yo. We're talking the most evil, hardened criminals you have ever seen. 代志大条.
What will Boston's response be if these mass deportations take place?
Yeah, look, elections have consequences. What we can do is make sure that we are doing our part to protect our residents in every possible way, that we are not cooperating with those efforts that actually threaten the safety of everyone by causing widespread fear.
Well, she's not very smart, I'll give her that, because what I just said is President Trump's going to prioritize public safety threats. What mayor or governor doesn't want public safety threats out of their communities?
What's your response?
Look, People can say whatever they want about me. This isn't about me. Our public safety record speaks for itself.
Now, one of the mayors of America's largest sanctuary city standing between criminal illegals and Tom Homan is Michelle Wu, an ABT whose parents are both native Taiwanese. And after they immigrated to Chicago, they gave birth to Boston's first female mayor.
President-elect Trump has promised mass deportations after he returns to the White House. How will you respond as mayor of the largest city in the state, the largest city in New England, and a powerful city in this country?
Yeah, well, as you mentioned, for the last decade or so, we have had laws on the books. I was actually serving on the city council at that point when we passed the Trust Act. And I think it's important to get a little bit into what exactly that means, because sometimes people use the term sanctuary city to mean a city that is welcoming of immigrants, which of course we are and have always been. And sometimes that is used to suggest that there might be some immunity where criminal actions are you look the other way at and this and that. So
you see how quick she claims that Boston ain't no sanctuary city for criminals? 吴小姐，你确定吗？
I'm not going back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent years.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
ICE Boston quickly takes down its next targets, including this illegal alien from Brazil who has an Interpol red notice for armed robbery. This Salvadoran illegal alien charged locally with and released by a sanctuary jurisdiction.
Señor, ¿cómo se llama?
And this Dominican illegal alien charged with assault with a deadly weapon and heroin trafficking.
Fuck. Now this went down right in Michelle's own backyard, the city that she not only swore to protect, but was also certain didn't provide sanctuary to criminals. I wonder how Obama feels about this fool thanking him for allowing him to commit crimes. 这个很难看哦. But shit, Obama's probably got bigger problems worried about with Michelle about to divorce his ass. Allegedly, anyway.
It's true.
And Emily, we were sitting there watching this, and you said 18 convictions for that Haitian individual. I mean, we were stunned to hear him say, bleep Trump, thank you, Biden, thank you, Obama, Biden forever, bro. Pay attention to what he is saying. That Biden and Obama enabled someone with 18 criminal convictions to sit in our country without any sort of accountability. There's a lot of people they need to add to that list. Mr. Haitian migrant, criminal who's no longer going to be here. Add Michelle Wu, the mayor of Boston.
So now the Republicans have Michelle in her crosshairs. But we can't just single out Wu Xiaojie呢，那样子很不公平吧? I mean, surely it was just this one guy, right?
Wrong.
Officers also arrested this Guatemalan MS-13 gang member facing gun charges. ICE says he was released from local custody just the day before. Their detainer request was ignored because of sanctuary policies. And in a sign of shifting priorities with the new Trump administration, this man, who was in the same apartment as the target, was also arrested after ICE determined he's also in the U.S. illegally. This is what ICE calls collateral.
Jesus, this gang member was released by Boston PD just a day before ICE scooped him up again. But surely BPD knew he was illegal and a criminal when they picked him up, right? I mean, this nigga was wanted by Interpol. And even if they didn't have the authority to deport him, they could have at least detained him and handed him over to DHS or ICE. But instead, Michelle City decided to provide this gangster with sanctuary and play catch and release as if he's some sort of a harmless catfish. And now that stinky fish has royally slapped Boston in the face.
You know, for God's sakes, these sanctuary cities, you know, let us into your jail. We're just trying to help public safety in your community. Help work with us, because you force us in the community. Here's what's going to happen. We'll find the bad guy, but when we find him, he's going to be with others. Others that may not be a criminal priority, but guess what? If they're in the United States illegally, they're going to be arrested too. So sanctuary cities are going to get exactly what they don't want. More agents in the communities, more people arrested, more collaterals arrested. So that's a game they want to play. Game on.
Game on it is. I don't know what homegirl Michelle was thinking, but she fucked around with a 20-year police veteran who's killed gangsters and criminals and also happens to command a force of thousands at the behest of the president, and now she's about to find out.
Did that go the way you thought it was going to go? Nope.
So, how long do you think Michelle can play this game with the border czar and last? And more importantly, as Tom's troops prepare to head south, do you think the cartel will dare to engage in a firefight with ICE? Let me know down below. Remember to keep it civil, like, subscribe, and I will see you on the flip side. Peace!